Hello, it's Saturday, August 12th of 2023, and today I'm here at Gare de Toulon to travel to Barcelona Sants by means of 3 different French rail services, and I will compare them all. My journey today will consist of 3 legs. First, a Transport Express Régional, or TER, train from Toulon to Marseille for 50 minutes. Next, an Intercités train to Montpellier for 1 hour and 40 minutes. And finally, a TGV inOui service to Barcelona, which barely runs high speed here, for 3 hours and 15 minutes. The connections between trains are quite tight, at only 17 minutes for both, meaning that small delays can snowball into major route changes if a train is missed. My journey today cost me €132 with a youth discount card, but you could easily get this for cheaper if bought further in advance or departing later in the day. Now back to Toulon. I had arrived quite early at the station, and the platform wasn't announced yet, but the stopping train before mine was on platform B, so I waited there preemptively. A lot of people were waiting on platform A for the TGV to Paris, which I arrived on. I'll be getting on one of these trains later. Many French train stations, including this one, have low-level platforms, which I find weird as I thought they were really only common in North America. The stopping service before mine arrived and went. I love the SNCF jingle. My train was non-stop to Marseille, which looked quite empty on the departure board. As I had guessed, my train was assigned to platform B and arrived on time. TER trains don't have assigned seats, so a seat isn't guaranteed. This train seemed older, as it was single level and didn't have level boarding. The interior was nice, fitted with curtains and end-of-car luggage racks. The seats looked nice, but I wasn't actually able to sit due to the lack of availability, although the stairs and the doors do work. I found it interesting that the handbrake was just exposed. I quickly checked out the bathroom, and it was bad. The water barely came out, and the soap was literally brown. The train was also quite loud, especially in the vestibule. This ride to Marseille probably has the best views of the trip, thanks to the Mediterranean. The max speed on this train was about 120 kilometers an hour, but that makes sense considering the difficult terrain and the type of service. Closer to Marseille, I noticed that the destination booklets can be changed, but I was nice and kept them as they were. We kept left at the Marseille Rail Triangle and arrived on time. Immediately after alighting, I made my way to platform F, where my next Intercités train was already boarding. This was also a single-level train with no level boarding. I sat in car 6, seat 97, and could see my last train out the window, which was pretty cool. The seats were very comfortable and had a decent tray table and a footrest. There was also 1 trash can and 1 plug socket per row. There was some overhead space for smaller bags and end-of-car luggage racks for larger items. The train departed on time and briefly ran over a small section of the TGV route, but soon got off near Les Stocks station onto standard speed tracks. The exterior was old, but the interior was lovely and quite cozy, especially with the lights. There was a QR code on the window for the food cart menu, which had an okay selection. I walked around the train a bit and stumbled into this children's play area in the first class section, which is amazing for parents with small children. I'm surprised this is the first time I've come across something like this, but it's such a good idea. We passed by this large lake and, seeing water, I decided to review bathroom 2 of the trip. The bathroom was clean, and the water, soap, dryer, and toilet all worked fine, so no complaints here. I arrived at my first intermediate stop, Arles. I then discovered that there was Wi-Fi on board, unlike the TER, which you can access by giving your booking reference and passenger name, and it worked really well. The home screen showed many things, including maps, train connections, the weather, games, time of arrival, and where the food cart was on the train, which is amazing. At the second stop, Nîmes, a lot of people got off, and we continued on. At this point, the scenery was flat with semi-arid farmland. I noticed that the train was delayed a few minutes, and I started to get a bit worried about my connection in Montpellier. I even checked the SNCF app for the platform, and I saw that the next train was on platform D. Although, after all that stress, I arrived in Montpellier with plenty of time to spare. After alighting on platform F, coincidentally the same letter as the platform I got on at, and going up to the concourse, I confirmed the platform with the info screens and went straight down to platform D for my next train. Montpellier is an interesting station because it has this beautiful linear concourse, but quite an ugly and loud track level. Luckily, I wasn't there for long. This is an impossible coach combination because this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. The train arrived and I made my way to car 16, seat 24, which was an aisle seat. But no one sat next to me, so I moved over to the window, seat 23, for the entirety of the ride. The TGV was the same type of train that I took from Paris to Toulon. You should check out the second part of this video for more about the train. Speedrun seat amenity time, there was a backseat pocket, a sturdy tray table, a footrest, one broken trash can, and an outlet, similar to the last train. Although nice, the seats were not as comfortable as the Intercités train. We departed a few minutes late. There were announcements in French, English, and Spanish, and even Catalan closer to Barcelona. And there were quite a few stops on the way, more than expected for a quote-unquote high-speed service. The overhead luggage racks were way too small on the train, so the end-of-car racks got very full, and some luggage was even left in the door zones, bad in case of emergency. I immediately went to the cafe car because I was hungry and found it very easy to navigate. The attendant spoke French, Spanish, and English, very convenient. I got a burger, which was very good, and a bottle of water. We then stopped in Sète, the first of many intermediate stops. The French portion of this stretch of the route doesn't have any true high-speed track, and the train only runs at max speed after passing Perpignan, near the French border. If high-speed tracks were built from Montpellier all the way, this journey could be an hour or so faster. Time for the third bathroom. The bathroom was good, and everything worked fine, although, like I said in my last video, the headroom is pretty bad. I tested the Wi-Fi on the train, and it was so good that I could even stream Netflix with no interruption, but sadly it couldn't be used to download any content. It had the same home screen as the Intercités train, plus a Wi-Fi connection quality map, which is very useful. The train then crossed into Spain, I lost my internet, and we accelerated to 300 kilometers an hour. Here the scenery became way more mountainous. The train screens are very good and show a percentage bar to the next stop. When going at high speeds, they also display the current speed. The train then stopped in the small town of Girona, which, surprisingly, considering the population, had an underground station. At first, I thought it was a Delft, Netherlands situation, and the tracks were buried to allow for more developable land up above. But after some brief research, it seems like the underground platforms were built with the high-speed line in 2013. Near Barcelona, the train stopped for about 5 minutes or so, causing a delay, but it was very minor and didn't affect me. The approach to Barcelona Sants is all in tunnels, so no city views here. The train pulled into Barcelona Sants 7 minutes late. I stepped up to the high-level platform and appreciated the station's lovely design. The platforms are nice and wide, and all I could think was, this is what New York Penn Station should be. I then made my way up to the concourse. P.S. No one ever checked my tickets the whole way. If I hadn't bought a ticket, I could have made it all the way here for free. But that does not mean I shouldn't buy a ticket. Okay, now time for the train comparison. So I'm going to be comparing all three services that I took today out of 5. So we have the TER, Transport Express Régional. Sorry for the pronunciation, I do not speak French. There's the Intercités, the second train, and the TGV inOui. So for convenience to ride, well, the SNCF, the French National Railway, is pretty good overall. So this is a little nitpicking. The TR, I gave a 5. It's very good. You know, you can buy a ticket on the spot at a ticket machine. There's no seating assignments, don't worry about that. And there's great frequency on many lines. The Intercités, I gave a 3, since you have to buy in advance, which is a little inconvenient. And there's not that much service, but it's good, you know. And then for the TGV, I gave a 4, since it's slightly more service than the Intercités, at least on the route that I took, but you still have to buy in advance, but it's very easy to do so. In terms of speed, for all of them I gave, you know, they're okay. I didn't rate them. TR is pretty good for regional rail, Intercités was decent speed, and the TGV in general is very fast, it's nice. In the portion that I took, it was kind of slow in the French section, but you know, overall it's good. For seating and comfort, for the TER, at least the train that I took, I'll give a 1. It was crowded, there were no available seats, and there was very little standing room except for in the vestibules, and you don't really want to stand in the aisles. For the Intercités, I'll give a 5. It was very comfortable seats, but one minor complaint is that there's only one plug socket. I think the same thing on the TGV. Like it's kind of annoying, you know, you want 2 plug sockets, and especially nowadays that everyone has to charge their phone, you don't want to keep alternating with your passenger. And yeah, for the TGV I gave a 4, since it has good amenities, but the seats were not as comfortable as the Intercités. I think I got a little spoiled by that one. For the appearance of the interior, for the TER, I'll give a 3. It was nice, but it was quite old, you know, it was good though. But at least the train that I was on, of course, there's probably like 50 different kinds of interiors across the country. For the Intercités, I gave a 4. It was a semi-modern interior, and it was nice and cozy with the lights. And for the TGV inOui, I gave a 5. It was a very nice modern interior. I thought it was really good. And the signage was great. You know, there was signs for the cafe cars in every car, the bathrooms, every seat, the upper and lower level. It's very easy to navigate. For bathrooms, specifically the bathrooms that I used on the trains, since there's many bathrooms per train. For the TER, it was a 2, you know, decent cleanliness, but the soap was brown, like that shouldn't be. Also, the water didn't really come out. The Intercités, I gave a 4, you know, it was clean, everything was working, nothing too special though, so, you know, pretty good. And for the TGV, I gave a 3. They have decent bathrooms. They're clean, but they're quite small, and some of them, especially the ones in the upper level, have very low headroom. Like if you're 6 feet or above, you have to like duck. Food service, TER, not provided, so I can't really rate that one. Intercités, I gave a 2. You know, the cart had decent offering, but this whole like food cart system is very inconvenient. Like at least you would get the app and you can see where it is, but you know, if you want food now, you just have to wait. You can't just go somewhere and get it. And sometimes they pass by and you feel like you need to get something. It's a good way for them to get money from you, but you know, I much prefer a food car, although I know that's not always possible. For the TGV, I gave a 5. It was a very nice food car. The food car was great. The food was good, although it was a bit too expensive, but what do you expect with these sorts of services? For the Wi-Fi, TER, no Wi-Fi, can't really rate that. It's not good in and of itself. For the Intercités, I gave a 5. It was great Wi-Fi, relevant information. There was a home screen. It went above and beyond. I've never seen a Wi-Fi like that. And for the TGV service, I gave a 4. It was very similar level of Wi-Fi, great service, great visualization, but like it didn't exist in Spain. I don't know why. Like they didn't offer Wi-Fi in Spain. So the second you cross the Spanish border or French border with Spain, the Wi-Fi just cuts and you don't get any cell service, even if you have a plan. So you're kind of just stuck there. Hopefully you downloaded stuff beforehand. Even though you can't really download stuff on these Wi-Fis, I think they block it. So like a Netflix episode, I could watch it, great, but I couldn't download it. So yeah, for the totals, we have 11 of 20 for the TR, which if you go out of 30, you know, I didn't count these, it'll be 16.5 out of 30. Intercités, 23 out of 30, and TGV, the best with this arbitrary rating at 25 out of 30. And please let me know if you have any suggestions or any categories that were obvious that I missed. But yeah, that was it. Thank you all for watching. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!